This video, I'm going to react to every MLB team's most cheatingest moment. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. This is the place where I react to music, media, sports, anime, anything related to popular culture. I'll watch it with an open mind and give you my 100% honest reaction to it. And if you could please hit that like button early, I'd really appreciate it. Now, this is going to be a really interesting one just because the more I learn and consume of baseball, of Major League Baseball, the more I realize that cheating is just, it comes with the game, it comes with the territory. I think because when you get to a certain level, when you get good enough to be in the major leagues, every team is good. Obviously, you're going to have the best teams and the worst teams, but the differences in quality are so fine that you need to find anything that's going to give you an edge, an advantage. And often, it's going to take cheating to get you that. I remember watching the Astros cheating scandal a couple of months, not a couple of months, I think it was maybe a month ago. And it's just, when you look back and you think, how did nobody realize, how did nobody hear the drumming on the trash can? But then again, you think to yourself, they obviously did the banging when the crowd was making noise. They were using certain patterns, etc. But it's almost kind of ingenious that they had the ballsiness to do that, and the fact that they still got to keep their championship. And I remember watching oh my God, what's his name? Gerrit Cole, yeah, and using the substance on the baseballs to get it to rotate more as he pitches it, but then to realize that he's not the only one doing it. Virtually every other pitcher in the major leagues is doing it too. Yeah, cheating is just it's just something that I think is always going to be in baseball. So to get recommended this video and to learn about every single team, how they all have cheated and their most serious cheating offense is going to be a really interesting one. So let's go. This is going to be me reacting to every Major League Baseball team's most cheatingest moment. Let's do it.
Like it or not, your favorite baseball team cheats. From using smartwatches to steal signs to systemic, organized cheating. And players getting needles in their asses. In every major league clubhouse,
juicing, right?
Someone is trying to gain an advantage. Yes, you can say it's part of baseball, but is your team any good at it?
He
or
is
did
not
they get
happy.
cheated in life by some other squad like a midget in a bagel shop?
For women to say, oh, you're 5 feet on dating sites, you should be dead, that's okay?
We're about to find out.
Poor
Every
guy.
MLB team's most cheatingest moment ranked is coming up next. And yes, cheatingest is a word. Here's your criteria.
I was thinking to myself, is cheatingest the word? But then I just decided to trust the guy and say it and read the title as it is.
Steroid use was so rampant it even got a time period named after it. Just using steroids won't land you on this list. We were looking for teams willingly cheating the system, players gaining an illegal advantage, or bizarre, funny, and even clever instances
Was that Barry Bonds?
of circumventing the rules. These are ranked from least nefarious to the end, where we reveal the most cheatingest moment in the history of Major League Baseball. Let's get into it. Two Mariners pitchers got busted for doctoring the ball, both in hilarious ways. In 1980, Rick Honeycutt tried using a tack to slash the ball, but like an idiot, managed to cut himself instead.
He cut himself instead? Oh man, how do you do that?
The other was longtime suspected ball greaser Gaylord Perry, who used to load up his hands with more illegal substances than a police evidence
Is he an air traffic controller?
locker, and he finally got nabbed at the tail end of his Hall of Fame career. A pitcher who used to touch himself more than Lakers fans when they found out they were getting AD, Perry was
This guy here, I'm watching more of his videos because he is a funny man.
caught with Vaseline on the ball in 1983.
What's that shit on your chest? Crisco. bar dog. Bad yourself.
You might see foreign substances a lot on this list, but each time they get more and more amusing. Like when Tampa Bay's reliever Joel Peralta got popped in 2012 for pine tar in his glove, before he could even throw a pitch versus his old team, the Nationals. I guess they knew he was a cheater and called him out for it. Peralta was of course ejected, then tipped his cap to the Nats dugout as he took his walk of shame.
Wow.
What happens when you lose 16-7 and you accuse the other team of stealing signs? You might sound like a totally sore loser. That's what Yankees Bartolo Colon and Russell Martin claim the Jays
He's a big old man, eh? Big unit.
were doing from second base, and it must have been so obvious they ran to the media afterwards. In the end, Martin didn't even hate all that much, calling the tactics in bounds, and Jays catcher Greg Zahn totally admitted they were cheating.
Oh, man.
A team that seems more boring than Paul Goldschmidt when he was a D-back, their most cheatingest moment wasn't even a cheatingest moment. In 2017, former big leaguer and D-backs interpreter Ariel Prieto was fined for having an Apple Watch in the dugout, but cleared of cheating during the NL wildcard game.
So you can't wear an Apple Watch? I mean, even... I guess, yeah, you know, you can receive information on there, texts and things like that, but you can disable it. You can put it on like airplane mode, but then, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's just too much hassle to kind of make sure everybody's Apple Watch is on airplane mode.
He says the watch was on airplane mode, but like,
I just pretty...
dude, nobody uses that shit. Though it's really easy to pick on the O's for a leadoff hitter jumping from 16 home runs to 50, the most confirmed incident of cheating was when reliever Brian Matus got ejected in 2015 for having an unknown substance on his arm. Manager Buck Showalter never said what it was exactly. I'm just glad that it wasn't David Cohn who was the pitcher involved in this incident.
I get that one. Oh, what have I done here?
You ever hear that part of a trade announcement pending the results of a physical? Well, in 2016, Padres GM AJ Preller just simply tried to hide some medical information involving Drew Pomeranz and others in a trade to the Red Sox. Teams complained about it, and he got a 30-day suspension for it.
Ooh.
But it did go a little deeper than just omitting information, as it was later discovered that the Padres kept two separate databases for medical information on its players. Kind of like leaving stuff off of Carfax. When Brendan Donnelly got caught using pine tar in 2005, not only did it spark Mike Scioscia's anger and garner Donnelly a 10-game sit-down,
Moon landing was fake, bruh. I read
it
that.
also incited a brawl. Donnelly
Oh,
went
man.
on record in 2012 saying that pine tar should be legal because it isn't something that is used to doctor a ball, but for the pitcher to get a grip, which in turn increases spin rate. Donnelly's argument was obviously unsuccessful.
Yeah, that's a terrible argument. So you're basically you're using the pine tar to gain a competitive advantage, right? But I guess then if you allow everybody to use pine tar, you kind of negate that to an effect, don't you? But then you have to have oversight and make sure it's actually pine tar that everybody's using, right? Yeah, that'll be hard.
Though meathead Roger Clemens had to defend himself in front of Congress because his former strength trainer injected him and his wife with B12 and horse steroids, and Mike Scott used an emery board for his ridiculous splitter. The Astros' most cheatingest moment came in 1987 when Billy Hatcher got popped for using a corked bat.
So hang on, was this had to have been made, this video, before the trash can thing, the banging on the drums, right?
And he would have gotten away with it, but his bat shattered and dust went everywhere. He claimed it was a pitcher's bat because those guys need an edge, and was suspended 10 games for it. Though we all suspect the 93 Phillies were more juice than a pineapple factory in Brazil.
This dude. He's funny. He's funny.
Especially since they were catalyzed by such a pillar of honesty in the form of Lenny Dykstra. It was pitcher Kevin Gross who was popped for using sandpaper in his glove during the 1987 season. I'm also sure the garden of used chewing tobacco nails
What the heck is that? Oh man.
Used to grow out in center field at the Vet was disgusting to opposing players in a manner more frightening than his investment portfolio.
Oh dude, what is that?
Though a recent campaign has been brought about to clear the allegations about Ty Cobb, most notably by author Chris Learson, it is not confirmed whether he sharpened his spikes to cut other players. What is confirmed is he did spike a lot of other players like he did to Frank Baker in 1909. You can make up your mind about Cobb, but if you want confirmed Tiger cheating, Brian Moeller got nabbed for using sandpaper in 1999 and suspended 10 games. And Ty Cobb probably did not beat a man nearly to death for clout.
Hang on, so is sandpaper for the grip? Is that what it's for? Or is it to doctor the ball? Like, please let me know in the comment section, what is the purpose of putting sandpaper? Because all I can imagine is it aids in grip. Like, catching the ball, you keep it steady. That's all I can think of.
Though you could argue that the D-Rays cheated the Pirates in the Chris Archer deal, he did seem to get nabbed for using pine tar on the ball by announcer Chris Welsh. However, bigger than that salacious moment was the Pittsburgh drug trials of the mid-'80s, where apparently the entire world was snorting cocaine like a fully charged Roomba. The Pirates were getting drugs brought in through their mascot, and several high-profile players got suspended for the powder-sniffing antics, as the story made national news, followed by Ronnie Reagan launching the war on drugs, which we can safely declare has been won by drugs. Though Don Sutton said he never used a foreign substance on the ball because Vaseline was made right here in America. And Jay Howell used pine tar in a playoff series, nothing was more perplexing in Dodgers history than the outright racist remarks made by their GM, Al Campanis, in 1987. Though more of a scandal than cheating, in an interview with Ted Koppel, Campanis said ignorant things in regards to African Americans. I will not repeat them here, which got him fired less than 48 hours later. Imagine if he had Twitter back then. The Nats' most cheatingest moment was a case of mistaken identity, or rather the falsification of one. Back in 2009, the Nats had a hot prospect in 19-year-old Dominican Esmailin Gonzalez. Too bad it turned out Smiley was actually Carlos Alvarez Lugo, who was really 23 years old.
They look nothing alike. Come on, guys. Come on.
This lie garnered Lugo a higher signing bonus and allowed him to dominate developmental leagues. The fallout got former pitcher Jose Rio fired and his academy shut down. Lugo never made it above A-ball, and I hear the Dominican Republic is a great place for American tourists to visit.
Man. I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Oakland Athletics just because of the movie Moneyball, and I might have mentioned this a couple of times in other baseball videos, but they seem like a good organization.
It's funny when a guy who threw a perfect game rats himself out like Dallas Braden did on Baseball Tonight. But there was no bigger blowing off of a lid than what Jose Canseco did to all of Major League Baseball in confirming what any sentient human being that could tell him apart from his twin brother already knew. The A's were shooting up steroids like Nicky Sixx doing heroin, apparently in the locker room before the game.
Wow.
His clarity ended up with the confessions of others, most notably fellow Bash brother Mark McGwire. But hey, we got that Netflix wrap, so silver linings, right?
Have a seat on this couch made of horse leather.
What the heck was that?
Grab your tinfoil hats for this one. Mark Burley accused the Rangers in 2005 of using their LED lighting system to signal to their hitters what pitches were coming. He was quoted as saying, "I've heard rumors, so it's not just me saying this," Burley said. "Look at the stats. I'm not just making this up." At the time he said this, the Rangers were batting .285 with 125 homers at home, compared to .256 with 86 homers on the road. Cue the X-Files music. The Rangers dismissed the allegations like Nolan Ryan did to Robin Ventura's head. Of course, pitchers cheating find themselves on this list a few times, but no incident was more hilarious or obvious than in the case of knuckleballer Joe Niekro getting caught red-handed when he poorly attempted to throw his emery board out of his pocket while being confronted by umpires in 1987. He said it was for his nails because lots of men get manicures between innings. The Fresh Prince, aka Will Smith, got caught with rosin on his arm in 2015, but that wasn't nearly as bad as lying and getting an honest guy fired because you're a cheater, which is what Ryan Braun did.
If I had done this intentionally or unintentionally, I'd be the first one to step up and say, I did it.
Several months later.
1 month to the day that Major League Baseball suspended Brewers star Ryan Braun, Braun issued an apology for using banned substances.
After doubling down on his lie where him and his team blamed a mishandled specimen as the reason his test levels were higher than Ivan Drago's, he later got a mountain of evidence shoved
Then Ivan Drago's. Love the Rocky reference, mate.
down his mouth and missed 65 games for it.
Ooh,
Then came back noticeably thinner. If Ariel Prieto got accused and cleared of using an Apple Watch earlier, it was because the Red Sox were actually using Apple Watches to steal signs. In 2017, guess who? The Yankees blew the whistle on the high-tech scam and sent enough video evidence to corroborate their story.
Wow.
The Red Sox then admitted they had been cheating. Wait, a New England team admitted to cheating?
This is referring to the Bill Belichick Deflate Gate, I believe. Yeah.
Red Sox filed a counterclaim saying the Yankees used their cameras to spy on them. The official statement read, I am rubber and you are glue. What bounces off me sticks to you. Nana nana boo boo. In the 70s, Greg Nettles got busted for super balls in his bat, but it would be their owner's snooping and disdain for his highly paid right fielder that would put him in hot water. In 1990, after a long history of contempt for outfielder Dave Winfield, whom he called Mr. May, George Steinbrenner was banned for life from baseball when he paid gambler Howard Spira to dig up some dirt on Winfield. Steinbrenner served a 2-year ban, and it was business as usual for the Yanks, who are probably cheating somehow. We all know they're cheating. Come on. Amos Otis had a 17-year career, hitting 193 home runs and batted .277 lifetime, and used a cork bat the entire time, which he admitted to in 1992.
Dude.
Speaking of bats, we can never forget this incident in which George Brett nearly burst all of his hemorrhoids when his home run was disallowed for having pine tar on his bat. I mean, look at that face. That is sheer terror. Though Barry Bonds' head grew in size like the Grinch's heart, that's too easy to point the finger.
One of my favorite things is badly done photoshops. Just look, it's bigger than his torso.
At. What is shocking to learn is that the Giants stole signs in the 1951 World Series and even admitted to tainting the shot heard round the world.
Oh wow.
Using a telescope in the center field clubhouse, Herman Franks would relay the signs to the dugout, and then backup catcher Sal Evers would tip off the hitters. Ralph Branca, who gave up the homer, harbors no ill will for surrendering what looked like a 257-foot home run. Maybe Mad Bum getting triggered as payback for the Giants' sign-stealing antics. It's bad enough that Sammy Sosa had been putting harmful substances in his body like HGH and bleach, but he was also corking his damn bat, which he got caught for in 2003 when it shattered and revealed the inside was drilled out like a Texas oil well.
But the thing is, with a corked bat, I would have thought that a corked bat would be less effective just because it weighs less, there's less mass traveling, less force being put into the ball. Like, I'd love to know, how does a corked bat aid, hitting a baseball and getting it to travel further? I'd love to know.
I guess Sammy was embarrassed. I mean, look at him blushing.
Oh my God.
Can the Marlins do anything right? First, they botched their ballpark, sue their fans, trade Christian Yelich, and before
They sued their own fans? What happened there?
That in 2013, Alex Sanabia got caught hawking a loogie on the ball, which is so
disgusting.
egregious. The spit bounced off it like a kid who just had cake at Jumpology.
That is
Fittingly,
gross.
umpire Joe West didn't even see it, though all of Twitter did. So we've seen enhancing the bat, enhancing players, but what about messing with the balls? And this isn't a Manscaped ad. In 2010, Hall of Fame announcer John Miller accused the Rockies of using different balls during clutch situations, which had a little bit of credence since they kept their ball fridge a secret for most of its first season in 2002. The use of the humidor marked a precipitous decline in hitting at Coors. However, when the Rockies started hitting dings again in 2010, the easiest thing to do was accuse them of cheating. But we all know the ball is juiced this year.
The ball is juiced.
This is my favorite bat corking story of all time, so much so I made an entire video about it. In 1994, Albert Bell had his bat taken from him at Comiskey Park because, well, everyone knew he was cheating, including his manager, who devised a scheme with Jason Grimsley to break into the room it was stored in to retrieve the bat, which he did and replaced it with a terrible substitute because all of Albert's bats were corked. Of course, everyone got caught except for Grimsley, and Bell received a lengthy suspension.
Oof.
Though manager Tony La Russa has been known to turn a swollen eye to steroid use, it turns out the Cardinals were pretty
This guy's brutal.
adept at hacking computers too. Well, not good enough to stop the FBI. In 2015, after several Cards employees left for the Astros, their former co-worker kept their logins and passwords, which they naturally didn't change because password restrictions are too difficult to remember, and then he logged into the Astro servers with ease and peeked in on all of their data. Chris Carrera was sentenced to 46 months in prison and banned for life. The Cards had to pay the Stros $2 million and give them their top 2 picks in the 2017 draft.
Oh man, they got hit hard.
Though paying Bobby Bonilla until the day our sun swallows our planet is a dumb idea, it's not cheating. Getting ejected and wearing a terrible disguise in the dugout, well, that's both cheating and stupid. But that's what good old Bobby V did in 1999 when he got ran, then tried to imitate Groucho Marx. He was easily spotted and maybe the only person to be ejected twice in one game.
Wow.
Some cheating scandals cost you a few games. This one cost Pete Rose his entire lifetime.
Oh my god.
Of course, we all know that he bet on games, which he admitted to, and though he never said he bet against his team, the lead investigator on the case said that given enough time, he would have eventually found enough evidence that Rose did. Since Charlie Hustle was banned for life in the 80s, he's been the center of a polarizing debate on whether he should be let in the Hall of Fame or not. Y'all can just argue in the comments down below.
I've heard of this. Is he the guy who's in prison at the moment? Like, I definitely need to like understand the full story there.
Speaking of getting banned for life, former Braves GM John Coppola got served with one of those in 2015 when he got caught for sweetening the signing bonus pot on foreign prospects, an underhanded way of funneling more money to impressionable free agents and circumventing both the rules and the competition. The MLB ended up voiding 9 contracts, imposed heavy sanctions, and made it impossible for the Braves to sign Latin American players until 2021. Lucky for them, Ronald Acuna was signed in 2014, 1 year before this incident. And now for the cheatingest moment in MLB history.
Alright.
You knew this one. In 1919, the Chicago White Sox intentionally lost the World Series as a big FU to their owner, known cheapskate Charlie Comiskey. What's been known as the Black Sox scandal got 8 players banned for life and shook the core of the game right down to its shoes, or lack thereof. I don't need to explain the whole thing. You can watch 8 Men Out. Well, thanks for peeping this. Check out the other videos in this series. I'm 5 Points Vids.
They intentionally lost the World Series. I need to put that on my list.
And you made it to the end of this video.
Man, so many crazy moments in that list. Yeah, the MLB is just so full of history and, you know, incidents and just interesting things. It's definitely a sport that's rich in character. I mean, to intentionally lose the World Series, that owner must have really been mistreating those guys, because obviously having that on your record makes you, it just boosts your career, surely, you know. Plus, it's something for you, for your legacy, for you to look back on and be proud of. So they must have, to be willing to give that up, they must have really hated that guy. I definitely need to put that story on my list. But yeah, that was an incredible video. Really enjoyed it. This guy was hilarious. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and keep throwing the recommendations my way. I know I say it all the time, but they genuinely help me out, because if I know you enjoyed watching something, I'll definitely enjoy reacting to it. So like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, keep throwing the recommendations, and I'll catch you in the next one.